The rules have changed. Welcome to High Stakes. Starts next Sunday at 7 on 7.
The nation's death toll climbs to 14, with more than 1,600 now infected across the state and rising. This is a special edition of 7 News, bringing you the latest on the coronavirus crisis. Here's what's coming up. The new world order. Our army comes marching in, partnering with police to help enforce the country's tough new quarantine laws. Plus, hotel hell. Our exclusive pictures reveal what life is really like inside Sydney's isolation hotels as guests discover the service is anything but 5-star. Plus, is a full lockdown looming? The National Cabinet set to meet tomorrow afternoon to discuss shutting the country down. And Silent Night, eerie images of Sydney's most popular Saturday night hotspots with not a soul in sight.
This is 7 News with Angie Asimus.
Good evening. It's just over an hour now until mandatory hotel quarantine rules kick in for anyone arriving into the country. It comes as COVID cases across New South Wales keep rising. Overnight, the state's death toll increased to 8 after a 91-year-old woman died. There was a jump of 212 cases. The total now stands at 1,617. Of those, 22 people are in intensive care, half of them on ventilators. Tonight, police are warning family and friends of anyone returning through our airports, do not come to greet them, as they'll be processed out of sight, then monitored by the Army.
Officers masked and on the beat inside the Marriott on Pitt Street. Just like the incoming guests, police have no reservations about the strict new measures.
And I acknowledge some people won't be happy with that, but I truly believe this will bring an end to this much, much quicker than just relying on individuals.
Travellers from overseas are the main source of the virus. No longer trusted to self-isolate, the government is forcing them into a 14-day hotel lockdown.
There are still a proportion in the community who aren't doing the right thing, and that's heartbreaking.
From midnight, passengers will be greeted by police and members of the Defence Force. They'll be screened, then transferred from the airport to hotels across the city.
When you get an order from the police or a soldier for that matter from tomorrow morning, you need to respect and comply.
3,000 people touch down in Sydney tomorrow. They'll be spread over as many as 15 hotels.
These individuals do not have any symptoms of the coronavirus, and if they did, health would take them back to hospital and treat them appropriately.
This is one of the rooms that will be used during the quarantine period. There's a television, the internet, a kitchen, a few basic necessities to keep people sane, because once they reach that door, they can't cross the line. The government will foot the bill, providing a lifeline to hotels decimated by travel bans.
Keep us open, yes, yeah. It's people aren't travelling at the moment, and as a business owner, I hope and pray that we can really get through this, and I know that we will.
Those hotels that wish to be involved with this process and also have the right type of room available for those looking to self-quarantine have been active, positive and making everybody available.
170 new cases have been passed through the community with no known source. The Premier threatening if that continues to rise, it'll force her hand.
But if we see those numbers in community-to-community transmission go up at a rate that which we're not comfortable with, we will have to put in stricter measures.
Miley Hogan, 7 News.
It was another day of confusion as more cruise ship passengers arrived in Sydney. Some told they could go home, others forced into city hotels where police had to patrol lockdowns as guests tried to leave.
Reading the Riot Act, police warning cruise ship passengers in a lockdown. Welcome to the quarantine hotel from hell.
So I'm happy to go downstairs and get arrested.
300 passengers from the Norwegian Jewel cruise ship locked inside their rooms.
The conditions are just appalling.
And we've got no cleaning products.
To keep the two kids entertained all day, we've only got a deck of cards.
There are armed guards on every floor.
An ambulance today transported a woman to hospital for an undisclosed condition. The other guests are not allowed even into the corridors to exercise, facing another 11 long days in isolation.
Sarah and her other 8 family members are quarantined across 3 separate rooms in this hotel, along with all the other passengers brought here 3 days ago. What they want to know is why other passengers who've returned from other cruises were allowed to return home. Well, they're stuck here.
When we asked why, the Premier ducked the question.
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'll get Commissioner Fuller to explain that.
Others who may be considered higher risk because they've come off a cruise ship are offered accommodation.
Joining the quarantine queue early this morning with little social distancing, 2 new shiploads of cruise ship passengers greeted at Sydney Airport with police reinforcements.
We had a group that we knew we were coronavirus free. We had documentation that we were coronavirus free because we've all been in Antarctica for several weeks.
We had so much stress, anxiety and even anger, but the worst of all is fear.
Those living within a 20-minute drive were told they could go home to self-isolate, leaving those there to greet loved ones in limbo.
Police have told me that I can't drive her home and that she can only get a taxi if she lives within 20 minutes.
Others sent to another hotel in Pyrmont.
And now it's possible that we will be self-isolating here for 14 days and then another 14 days when we get to Adelaide.
More than 40,000 people over the last 2 weeks alone have come through the airport without proper screening, testing or security.
This crew member was today brought to shore from the infamous Ruby Princess, which offloaded 2,700 exposed passengers last week, the Premier's office claiming he has a medical issue unrelated to the virus. Brian Seymour, 7 News.
The new National Cabinet meets tomorrow afternoon as Prime Minister Morrison and Premiers confront growing pressure for a tougher lockdown to curb the virus. Political correspondent Tim Lester is in Canberra.
Here, the Prime Minister has applauded Australians withdrawing to their homes, cutting movement in our major centres by up to 80%. He cautions against tougher measures now, measures Australians might struggle to live with for 6 months or more.
I don't think that's the case at all. A lockdown can probably be as short as 4 weeks.
Biosecurity expert Raina McIntyre believes the Prime Minister and Premiers should adopt even tougher measures to stop Australians mixing and infecting one another.
By doing the sharp, short lockdown, you dramatically reduce the number of cases that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Others back the Prime Minister's caution.
As soon as the lockdown is lifted, there is the risk that the virus would just start spreading again.
And a second issue emerging as National Cabinet meets, intensive care unit beds, where COVID-19 has overwhelmed foreign healthcare systems. How ready are we? One of the government's key health advisors says no problem.
We have doubled the capacity there and there are beds available right now with ventilators right now.
Yet private hospitals claim the government is about to inadvertently shut down up to a third of all intensive care beds. With elective surgery largely delayed, private hospitals say they need government support now to pay staff.
Tomorrow night, all hospitals will start to close next week. It's got to be solved this weekend.
As well, from the Prime Minister's office here, what precautions is Scott Morrison taking to prevent a Boris Johnson-like situation, a Prime Ministerial positive to coronavirus? Well, none, they say, except the same measures all Australia is now taking. He's washing his hands, not going out unnecessarily, and staying at least 1.5 metres away from other people.
Tim Lester there, proving just how important it is for our leaders to stay safe. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is tonight governing via video link from self-isolation, putting on a brave face for the public after testing positive to coronavirus. Europe Bureau Chief Hugh Whitfield joins us from London now. Hugh, how is the government coping with its leader coming down with COVID-19?
Well, Angie, Boris Johnson says he is continuing to do his job, leading the government from self-isolation by himself inside the flat above number 11 Downing Street. Staff leaving food and government papers at the door and then well and truly keeping their distance. He will continue to do his job, but It's pretty clear that dealing with this coronavirus crisis for the British government has been badly hampered by the virus itself. Boris Johnson has it. The Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, has also tested positive, and the Chief Medical Officer in England has also said that he's experiencing symptoms and will self-isolate as well. So that leaves three key players not able to communicate in person or with staff in person either. And it's a big job for the British government to prepare for what will be a peak in the number of patients in the coming weeks. We know that there is a temporary hospital being built at a convention centre here in London. That's also happening at convention centres in Manchester, Birmingham and Cardiff now as well. And the Birmingham airport is being turned into a temporary mortuary with capacity for 12,000 bodies. Angie.
Hugh, we're hearing several countries in Europe have experienced their blackest day since this virus began.
Yeah, 3 countries. Here in Britain, the worst 24-hour period, 181 people killed by the virus. In Italy, 919 in a 24-hour period. And we've just got figures through from Spain, 832 people killed in a 24-hour period in Spain. That brings the death toll there to 5,690, quite extraordinary. In Rome, quite an eerie scene. The Pope has led a solo prayer service in a desolate St. Peter's Square, praying for the city of Rome and the world. Germany has just announced that they are extending the lockdown there until at least April 20, and Turkey has just become the latest country to ban all international flights. So getting around the world right now is becoming harder and harder, Angie.
Hey, Hugh Whitfield live from London, thank you. It is Saturday night, self-isolating in Sydney, the first weekend with nightlife shut down. We take a look outside next. Plus, beyond despicable, what police say this woman told them before she spat at an officer. And how zoos are ensuring the kids don't miss out their new online shows for school holiday fun.
Hi, I'm Ben Cousins. It's been 10 years since I've spoken publicly.
Is this your last chance?
I've stuffed things up.
Can you tell me 100% you're not using drugs anymore?
The most shocking is still to come when Ben Cousins comes clean. Sunday on 7.
This is our lab, where we've ethically sourced certified organic lavender for the new anti-age cream by Garnier Organics. Distilled to release its essential oil in a vegan formula to visibly reduce wrinkles. New Garnier Organics by Garnier Naturally.
Oh, bog day. It's parked. We've got a... Parked!
The powerful Amarok V6 Canyon, now with a 1.99% annual rate.
What if we need a little more space? Like really soon. How much more house can we afford? We've never had a backyard. And where can we find great schools?
Whatever your housing question, Westpac can help. Come and speak to one of our housing specialists today.
We put Vanish to the test by sending influencer Mel Watts something she's always wanted.
Love it.
Covered in a tough stain.
Is that red wine? I mean, I could try and do a hot wash, but it will ruin the dress. Half a scoop cold water. I don't know. It's a pretty bad stain. We can give it a go. It is actually working. I can't even see where the stain was.
For amazing results, just cold wash with Vanish Oxy Action.
Light up their faces with the awesomeness of puffed rice. LCMs are the surefire lunchbox hit.
Allcastle Homes build big homes, like the Big Bannaby 36 with up to 8 bedrooms from $315,995, including standard site costs and basics.
What happens to all the dirt on your dishes? It flows in your dishwasher, affecting its cleaning performance. Add Finish In-Wash Dishwasher Cleaner, the only one that cleans your dishwasher while it cleans your dishes. Try Finish In-Wash Dishwasher Cleaner today.
I try to deal with the pain.
Lisinofen starts to be absorbed in just 5 minutes.
Lisinofen provides up to 8 hours pain relief in a single tablet. Say no to pain. Lisinofen.
Introducing the new GS20 Ultra 5G, Samsung's best 5G phone on Australia's best 5G. Available now with no excess data charges in Australia when you add to any month-to-month mobile plan.
Little Bella's home with a newfound friend. Luckily, with Pino Clean Laundry Sanitizer, it doesn't matter where that's been. Because unlike detergent alone, which doesn't get rid of all germs, it removes 99.9% of bacteria. It's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
3, 2, 1. Take off. Take charge. Take it all. And then some. Show off. Nice rocket. Show the way. And then some. Be sure. Be adventurous. Just be that person. And then some. Be X-Range.
They're some of the most powerful pictures we have seen so far, showing just how the coronavirus crisis is hitting home. It is Saturday evening in Sydney and there's not a soul in sight. Usually party night here in the Harbour City. Tens of thousands of revellers and tourists are at home, replaced with lone security guards. They stand sentry as the city experiences its first weekend without pubs, restaurants and entertainment venues. It does seem the message to stay home is starting to sink in. Well, it's despicable in normal circumstances, but even more incomprehensible right now as people try desperately to keep themselves safe. A woman has been charged with spitting on a police officer, telling him she was headed for a virus test, and she's not the only one who's been caught.
A vile act against those there to protect.
Put this, yeah? Ale, do not spit on me or you'll get put on the ground.
As the corona pandemic grips the world, it's an act that's left our police shocked and repulsed.
I've had conversations with police that have just broken my heart. I've spoken to police that have been abused. I've spoken to police that have been spat on.
It happened in Greenacre. The 25-year-old arrested after an alleged high-speed pursuit. Officers say she claimed she'd been on her way to get a coronavirus test before spitting. She's been charged with assaulting police, but was set free on bail for a mental health assessment. And this, yesterday in a doctor's surgery in southwest Sydney, the patient who told the clinic she'd had corona symptoms for 4 days spits on the carpet. The doctor's boss doesn't want to be identified.
I felt disgusted because healthcare workers put their lives at risk on a daily basis.
The patient will likely be handed a $500 fine for offensive conduct, but COVID-19 has already been added to the Public Health Act, meaning that if authorities choose to use that legislation to deal with this behaviour, those responsible could end up behind bars. An American woman is facing terror-related charges, accused of deliberately coughing on fresh produce, claiming to have the virus. And this Amazon delivery driver is being investigated after being caught spitting on a package.
The staff are currently under severe stress. A lot of them have severe anxiety.
Laura Banks, 7 News.
Tens of thousands of staff have been stood down today as Australian retailers take radical action to ensure their own survival. Myer, Country Road and Witchery are just some of the big names temporarily shutting their doors or moving to online only. It's predicted billions will be lost, with fears some will never recover.
As the streets become empty, so too the retail stores, with more staff than customers.
They are spending more on wages than they are actually receiving through their tills at the moment.
With discretionary spending down 75%, casualties are popping up. Myer announcing its 60 stores will shut tomorrow for at least a month. 10,000 jobs gone. The CEO admitting the spread of coronavirus has forced one of the toughest decisions this company has faced in its 120 years.
Those retailers are very, very concerned about their staff catching the coronavirus.
They're getting hit on all fronts. That is why there needs to be the support.
Last-minute shoppers raced through the doors.
I understand that people are trying to stay safe. It won't kill us not to go shopping for a month.
While today it's lights out for others too, including Country Road, Just Cuts, Cotton On, Witchery, Q, Seed and Sunglass Hut. The closures will rip about $16 billion from the retail sector in just 1 month. And even if there were customers, store owners say they don't want to put the health of their staff at risk. Supermarkets, though, are booming with panic buying at an all-time high. Coles announcing it's in the process of employing 12,000 new staff.
They're coming from hospitality, they're coming from tourism, they're coming from the airlines, they're coming from high-level customer service industries, and they're ready to work, and we're ready to make them employed again quickly.
Samantha Brett, 7 News.
It's been announced this year's Logies ceremony will be canned. TV Week has made the call to cancel the Industry Awards evening, which was scheduled to be held on the Gold Coast in June. An online voting campaign will still go ahead, with plans underway to determine an alternative way to broadcast the awards. Easter school holidays are usually a peak time for some of the state's top attractions. However, now they've been forced to close, many are thinking outside the square to keep their businesses going. Sydney's Featherdale Zoo and Mogo Zoo on the state's south coast are just two of the venues that are turning to social media to help keep the kids entertained.
The birds are still chirping loudly, but things are much quieter here at Featherdale. Essential staff caring for the wildlife park's special residents, the only people now allowed inside, after it was forced to close temporarily due to coronavirus.
Unfortunately, due to those regulations and just public safety, we've now got our doors closed to the public.
Their sister zoo Mogo also shutting up shop for now. It only reopened a few weeks ago after zookeepers defended and saved its 200 animals when bushfires ravaged the state's south coast. But now, with some extra time on his hands, the zoo's head keeper wants to hear from you.
Ask me stuff.
Inviting the public to pay the animals a visit via the virtual world and learn more about them via the hashtag #AskAZookeeper.
Hey Zookeeper Chat, my questions are for you today. Do penguins have ears?
He's answering questions daily about the penguins who don't quite understand social distancing, Nuka, their cheeky crocodile, their wallabies and kangaroos, and their very popular, very cuddly koalas.
People are asking about individual koalas that they might have met before, and are they still okay? Well, of course, there's been heaps of questions about Archer.
If you have a question for Zookeeper Chad about any of the animals here at Featherdale or the animals at Mogo Zoo, you can leave a post or comment on their Facebook page, or better yet, send a video to their Instagram.
Just reach out via those methods and get in contact.
Amber Laidler, 7 News.
To sports news now, and the NRL and Rugby League Players Association is moving closer to a new pay deal after the season was suspended. Talks will continue into next week, and pay cuts are inevitable as players look at their options away from the footy field.
At home in Mount Druitt, extra family time's the silver lining for a Panther who was poised to become a big-time star this year.
But yeah, it's not the same without footy, and really missing it at the moment.
For every $1 million a year man like Daly Cherry Evans, there are dozens more like Jerome Luai, 23, earning much less and providing for an extended family.
I think me and a lot of other young players out there who are doing the same will be feeling, some type of worry of not knowing where, the money's going to come from.
AFL players agreed to a 50% cut until June, then 70% until games are played again.
The players have really put their hand up to do their bit to ensure our game gets through this.
The NRL has $20 million left, or $42,000 per player, if the whole season's called off.
That's a pretty crazy number, and I don't think too many players will be happy about that.
That might mean taking a second job as a removalist.
A bit of pick and pack might be on the agenda, but a lot of pressure.
It's why the Players Association favours tiered pay cuts, taking more from the highest earners.
We do have a job, so just try and be grateful in tough times.
Jonathan Thurston's using his fame and fortune to mentor children in remote communities.
Education is really important. I want you to believe in yourself and keep learning every day.
The great JT's found his second calling.
Happy birthday to Johnny. Lots of showers, lots of soap and washing hands all the time.
Matt Carmichael, 7 News.
Coming up after the break, the Wiggles hit the studio to pen a new tune about social distancing. And we'll take a look at Sydney's weather for tomorrow.
The latest advice sourced from medical experts, putting the facts first with every development.
As the crisis continues, be prepared with 7 News.
I love my dog, my tiny baby.
Discover the new garden collection at Pandora.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready now. Get ready. Ready? Set, jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Get ready.
Glen 20 isn't just for the bathroom. It also kills 99.9% of germs and viruses, such as athlete's foot fungus, salmonella, and the common cold virus. Glen 20, one spray, 101 uses.
With AGL, get up to $150 in credits. That's $75 for gas and $75 for electricity, just for signing up your home energy with AGL online. Only available at agl.com.au.
Olay was put to the ultimate MRI test. The MRI proved Olay intensely hydrates your skin for a plumper, firmer and more radiant glow. See the results in 28 days. Olay.
Endless nights, jet lag, oily skin? Get a Garnier mask moment. Garnier Tissue Mask, our first hydrating mask, infused with 1 full bottle of serum. In just 1 mask, replump your skin and glow. Garnier Tissue Mask by Garnier, naturally.
I want to stay active for as long as I can. If I want to stay fit, I've also then got to start doing the checklists as my age progresses. What I know about bowel cancer and the test is get it done. Grab that kit, send it off. Don't wait, it's not hard, it's so easy. It's not just for you, it's actually for your family and for your friends, and it's such a simple thing to do. It's easy, it's free, no excuses, do the test.
Millions of people only use realestate.com.au when searching to buy their home. Join the very happy sellers who advertise on the #1 address in property, realestate.com.au.
Little Bella's home with a newfound friend. Luckily, with Pino Clean Laundry Sanitizer, it doesn't matter where that's been. Because unlike detergent alone, which doesn't get rid of all germs, it removes 99.9% of bacteria. It's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
I'd like a bar of chocolate, please.
Your change.
Happy birthday, Mum.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
It's tax time. Stimulate your business now. Check your business's eligibility for the government instant asset write-off. Purchases made before June 30. The Ram 1500 pickup truck, eats utes for breakfast.
With so much information in one place, Finder makes it simple to compare my home loan against other offers.
Find a better deal for you. Try finder.com.au.
Weekend Sunrise, where you'll get every development in this rapidly changing world. Essential information, so you're prepared. From 7 a.m.
Checking the forecast for the rest of the weekend. Now, onshore winds are pushing a few showers onto the coast. They started north of Sydney and have gradually extended further south this evening. The latest satellite data shows onshore winds are the dominant feature on the map. That means continued light showers along the coast. We're also watching a trough move across the state's west that will draw very warm winds over inland centres tomorrow. Around the nation for your Sunday, Brisbane, a shower or two, 27 degrees. Late showers for Canberra. Showers and storms developing in Melbourne and Hobart. Adelaide, though, remaining fine and warm, 25. Another cooler day for Perth, 24. Back home, showers will most likely develop in the morning and early afternoon. The rest of the day should be partly cloudy. Top of 24 forecast for Cronulla, 26 at Parramatta. Penrith to reach 27. Ahead for Sydney, showers should stick around most of the week with plenty of fine breaks in between. Temperatures generally in the mid-20s. Well, the Wiggles have released a snippet of a new song which helps parents explain to their children the importance of social distancing.
Oh, why can't I go to Nana's place? We're staying at home to keep Nana safe.
Social distancing in reality for children means I can't go visit grandma, grandpa, I can't go have a birthday party or bring my friends in for a party or for a play date.
This is just the first verse. The group is still putting together the rest. That is 7 News for now. Weekend Sunrise will be back with the very latest from 7 a.m. We leave you now with those eerie pictures of a silent Saturday night in Sydney. I'm Angie Asimus. Thanks for your company. Stay safe.